Hey everybody, I am recording this video from my house right now, and I wanted to read a little scripture before I talk about what I'm going to talk about. This comes from the book of Ephesians, chapter 6. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. So you might ask yourself, what exactly does that mean? And I don't really know, and I think a lot of people wonder that. But I want to tell you tonight about a couple of experiences I had right here in this house, and let you decide for yourself. I like to do it in the house because I like to first on hand show you what I'm talking about. In March of 2019, I guess about 4 or 5 months before we got sober, I had bought a wedding ring, and I was going to ask Dawn to get married. We had stayed clean for 30 or so days and relapsed. And then the wedding rings came in. We'd ordered them when we were sober. And there was a night we were doing crack and meth. And Dawn wanted out. She was going into mental panic, and she told me that she didn't know if she was going to make it through the night. Well, all I had left was crack, and every time I did a hit of crack, I went into a paranoid panic state, which Dawn was very familiar with. And I did one hit after she told me that, and I knew when she saw me, and she flipped out, because I was flipping out, thinking the SWAT team was coming through the air vents. She came to me, and she's crying. She said, "Rob," she says, "I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart." She said, "Please, for one time, do this for me and don't continue using." Well, I had never done that. And I sat and I thought about it. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of emotion involved in what happened. But I took and I stood up in front of her. We were in this room right here. We converted it into a garage, my brother recently. But I was standing in this room, and I went into the bedroom and I got my crack. And I came to this door. I opened it up, and I threw my crack out into the yard. And I walked back into the room, and she was sitting, and I had the wedding ring in my hand. And I got down in front of her, and I knelt down, and I asked her if she would marry me. And she was blown away at the fact that I had thrown that crack away. And we went to bed that night. And this is why I'm telling you this story. I want to take you to the bedroom. I'll talk as we go. We went to bed, and in the middle of the night, I woke up to a horrifying scream. I've never heard anything like it from Dawn. And I was in bed, and when I woke up, I reached over to touch her in bed, and she wasn't there. And I heard the voices coming from this area. Well, I got off the bed, and I walked over here. I stepped down here, and I felt around, and she was in a crunched position right here against this wall. Well, I grabbed her with an arm under each side, and I pulled her. Well, she started pulling back really hard, not just resisting, but forcibly pulling back. And it was a fight for me to get her up onto the bed. And she was in an absolute panic state. And guys, I want to tell you, she started describing to me what had happened in the dream. And she told me that in the dream, she was being sucked into a black hole, and she was trying to hold on and pull back and keep from being sucked into this. Well, when I grabbed her, she was not there. It was not just her holding on to something, that she was actually pulling back. Well, here's the thing, guys. I went back to this area later. I didn't think anything about what had happened. Well, I went back to this area, and I realized when she was laying on this floor, there is absolutely nothing, if you were down here, that you can grab hold of. for her to hold on and resist my pulling is one thing. I was feeling force pulling back. And when I looked at this and realized that what she was describing in her nightmare was identical to what I was experiencing right here. And, these are moments, guys, Dawn and I don't like talking about. I want to tell you about two other experiences, and they happened right here on this bed. I woke up on two experiences. Have you ever had a leg cramp before? We all have. Well, your world stops. I was laughing with Dawn about this the other day. The last time I had one, I told her, whatever you're doing at that time, it takes second precedent to you getting up and stretching that muscle. Well, I woke up on two occasions of trying to resist the crack when I was trying to walk away from using. I woke up screaming. I'm talking at the top of my lungs in agony. Every single muscle in my body, from my shoulders to my arms to my body to my legs to my calves, was cramping. Everything. I was convulsing and contorting is the only way I can describe it. And Dawn was standing here witnessing this. Here is the frightening part, is I remember this, but Dawn told me that I was talking to someone and I was telling them that they weren't going to win and that they weren't going to win. I don't remember what the exact words were, but I was conversing with someone as I was going through this contorting. And my son Robbie walked in. Two different occasions that happened. And I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Guys, I'm telling you, here's the thing is, I was thinking about it today. God just put this in my mind, is when you go through a valley in your life, your boyfriend breaks up with you, you lose the job, the virus hits, you get sick, your kids get sick, anything, guys. When we go through these valleys, that's when we're tested, guys. That's when we have to hold on and have God. I am making this video, guys. I just want everyone to realize, as I read in that scripture, that this is way beyond what you see here. The Bible talks about seen and unseen. There is a realm, what was going on in this bedroom that night, that I can't see. And so, guys, I just want to tell you to please stay away from these drugs. That's all I can tell you, is that when you enter into put these drugs in your body, and I lost my train of thought and I just got it back, is when you put these drugs into your body, they are absolute evil, guys. When you hit these valleys in your life of difficult things happening, this is the moment, guys, where God talks to us. When we are in the valley, he's crying out to us, and he's there with us, guys. Please let our testimony show that no one should ever touch these drugs. And if you are in a hole, it doesn't matter what you're going through. I'm showing you the pits of hell right now, guys. And I'm telling you, God brought us out of this. And he brought us out of this the same way he can bring you out of whatever you are going through. Turn your heart over to God. I sat right here and I decided I was giving God my whole heart. And that was it. I made that decision after I walked over to Natalia's room right there and gave her that money back. She shut that door. I had stole the money, and the first night we saw Overcomer, she shut that door and went back in her room, and I turned around, and right here, I decided I was doing this God thing, and I was going to go through with it, guys. That movie right there is where it started for me, the night I'm talking about. And guys, all of this stuff, this crazy stuff where Satan was after us, monumental occurrences, guys, he still did not get us. Is God has to have your heart, guys. If you give him your entire heart, no matter how deep it gets, as you can see, he can pull you out of it. Come to me, all you who are heavy, laden, and burdened, and I will give you rest. That's what he is telling you today, guys. Come to him.